Trey, tell me what that says. Now, I'm about to give you a crazy thing. Imagine right now that every time you went into a competition, you knew, you may have not knew the outcome, but you knew you did everything you could physically, mentally, emotionally to be ready to win. Like you didn't feel all that nervous. You know, you might have got a little excitement, but you don't feel nervous anymore. You're just extremely prepared. You ever felt that feeling? Like where you just knew, and sometimes I think right now we feel those feelings when we just know we're the most dominant person in the room, right? Like all you guys, I mean, based on what I saw, all you guys can wrestle pretty good. So like when you go to I don't know, the Rootstown Open or something like that, you already know you're going to smash everybody in the bracket. You have zero nerves, right? But it's when we go up against the Jordan Burroughs, you know, or the Jaden Cox and the Kyle Dakes, those guys make us a little nervous, right? Because we know if we make a mistake, right, we go into our backs. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to try to give you some tools to help you kind of start to program yourself to win. So first slide. If the PowerPoint slide messes up a little bit, just bear with me. I was playing with it a little earlier and sometimes it sticks. But the trick is when you headed toward your goals, imagine if you literally had no hesitation, no doubt. You know, sometimes like we see that reattack and we're like, I don't take it, or we hesitate to shoot. Like all those things are really mindset things. Those are the reasons why we hesitate. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think hesitation kills careers. I've seen a lot of really good guys, they hesitate in the wrong spot, they second instead of first, they make a world team or Olympic team and they don't. But the reality is that you already have everything inside you that you need to be successful. But we just got to be a little more intentional about it. And I'm going to keep going. So I got two big words that we're going to use today. One is neuroscience. Read. Go.
Neuroscience is a scientific study of the nervous system.
You got the next one.
Structure, function, development, and disorders with a primary focus on the brain, its impact on behavior and cognitive functions.
All right, so now I'm going to have you read, but I just want you to read the part that's bold. Start with a primary.
Primary focus on the brain and its impact on behavior and cognitive functions.
And that's the part we're going to key into. Chances are most of you guys have sound structure and function and development. But I think the part that we need to key in on, at least for athletics and honestly any goals, smart goals, by the way, good job, coach, goals that we have. That's the part we're going to key in on, the impact on behavior and cognitive function. So what happens now? This session is going to be extremely interactive and it's going to be extremely experiential. Like I want you to, like after we do this session, you're going to have to take these things home. It's like going to wrestling camp. You got to take it home with you. But my goal is to rewire your brain for success. Like, and it's not going to be like some, I think positive. That's not how it works. Neuroscience is literally real. Like the connections in your brain. Like, how did you learn how to hit a double leg? When you were a kid, how did you learn? Okay, your coach taught it to you, and then what'd you do? You hit it over and over again. How many times you think? Huh? 100? 200? 1,000? How old were you when you started wrestling? 5? Probably one of the first things you learned was that drop step motion, penetration step, most of us, right? You've probably hit that motion over 1,000,000 times easy at this point. What are you, about 15, 16, 17? Yeah, so, and I'm assuming it's similar. That's how we learn. Like, and this is the next part. I got a big word. Who wants it? Raise your hand if you want to read it, big word. If you mess it up, it's okay. Boom, all the way in the back. Ready? Green word, go. Good. And I want you to remember this part. Neuro always means the brain. Plasticity is a fancy word for flexible. And I want to be very clear. I am not a neuroscientist. I want to be clear on that. I'm not a neuroscientist. But here's what I do daily. I work with young people who have either cognitive or behavioral, like underdevelopment, right? So if someone who's not developed cognitively then obviously it's easy. I just, wherever the gaps are in their learning, I seal them up, close them up. But if it's behavioral, it takes a little bit more. It takes a lot of neuroplasticity. The brain is constantly rewiring itself. Even this week, you don't even realize your brain's already like making adaptations. Like if you think of a move you learned that you had never did before, like I know some of you guys never did Greco before, that arm throw and arm span you learned was new to you. But after you take it and you run through it a couple times, that's neuroplasticity. So I want you to remember those things. And here's what we are going to do. We're going to be extremely intentional. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to use how we learn things. And watch this. How do you learn? Like, how do you learn? Like everybody has a couple ways they learn, like easily. Like either you learn by doing, you learn by seeing, or you learn by hearing. And most people are a combination of maybe two, usually. But we use all 5 of our what? Senses. Good job. So how do you learn? Seeing and doing. Who else is a seer and a doer? Like majority. All right. Who likes to hear it? Who's the person who learns from hearing it? Right? Who's the person who learns from writing it? Right? So we're all kind of a combination of those 3 things. And to be honest, like these senses are very primal, right? As far as like who we are as human beings. Like you learn these things, like nobody taught you to smell unless you have like some kind of issue. Nobody taught you to, see or hear, like unless you're deaf or something like that, right? But we really don't use our sense of smell other than food, right? Like for the most part. When else do we use our sense of smell? Oh, not that one yet, Coach. That's a good one, though. To avoid danger. That's primal. That's inside you. Like if you smell fire right now, you guys are already thinking, where are we exiting? That's primal. Like nobody has to teach you that. Your brain has been wired over, I don't know, Coach, how old are human beings? Old, right? Exactly. A few thousand years old. So you don't even have to, like, don't you think it's weird? Like if you see a skunk, you know to stay away from it. Isn't that weird? Only little babies like will walk up to a skunk like it's a cat, right? I'll give you another one. This is one of my favorite. I actually did this in a class. First, we're going to go to my favorite song of all time. Tell me if anybody's heard this song before. Oh, yeah. I'm getting turned up right now. Oh, y'all never heard this before? Oh, man. I feel like an old man. Who's heard that song before? Oh, there it is. Somebody's singing in the back. Okay. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I used this as a kid. And I didn't know what I was doing. And you guys probably already do this one because it's the easiest. I want you to think of a song that you play. Do any of y'all listen to music before you wrestle? Think of a song that you play. Just keep it in your head. Don't sing it. But I can tell you right now, every kid in Ohio hated seeing me with my little Walkman on and my cassette. And I was bouncing and I was turned up. Because I promise you, as soon as that thing, I broke my Walkman like 3 times. I would be so pumped after hearing that song. I would like smash it down and go try to take some kid's head off. Like that was my jam. It's probably why Jaden keeps grabbing me. I'm not even kidding. All right, so somebody give me a song. I saw some hands. Give me a song. What you listen to? Nobody listens to music? Kendrick, what song? You Humble? Which one? Oh, Not Like Us? Okay. Anybody heard that song? Okay, that's pretty pop, right? So when you hear that song, how would it make you feel before you wrestle? Okay, like they ain't like me. Anybody else got a song that you listen to before you, like specific, that you listen to before you wrestle? What you got? Yeah, come on, bro.
Ask anybody here, I promise you.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm a fan. So.
Most songs by him.
Okay. You know, I call Pharrell a vampire. I swear it don't look like he got any older since he was like 20. Anybody else? Anybody got a song? No? Anything Metallica? Fuel. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ah! Oh yeah, that's what you got. Hug me? I'm laughing. So both of y'all Pharrell fans, y'all should be boys. All right. So what we gonna do is we're gonna kind of hijack our systems so that way we use all our senses and put them on autopilot for our success. And I have no idea why this ain't moving forward. Let's try it again. There we go. All right. I got a video. You ready?
What do you think about when you pull those socks up?
I pull my socks up because I want to look good. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I pull my socks up because I don't like my socks looking all crazy and disheveled. I want my socks to be perfectly aligned. So when I go out of bounds, typically it's after a takedown or some sort of sequence. My ankle is grabbed, they got my socks down, looking silly. So pull them up, kind of readjust them just so they are even with the opposite side. But now it's become this thing. But it's a reset point. It's a mental reset for me. Every time I go out of bounds, there's a break in the action. It's like, okay. All right, so I'll take my time. I'll walk around the referee, walk around the guy. I'll try to push the guy to the opposite side. I'll adjust my socks. Right, like there's just little things that I do in order to keep myself focused. So every reset is a time where I'm like, okay, you got that one.
And I love what he said. He said it started out as I just don't like looking silly. And then it started to transform over time. It started to become, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, a physical anchor. I fix my socks, I'm resetting. So he not just resetting back in the center, he resetting his mindset. That's called a physical anchor. Okay, so what do Michael Jordan, right? Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Jordan Burroughs all have in common. They use mental. It can't just be physical. I guarantee the year that he won the world championships, every single time, or Olympics, there were probably like 7 to 10 other guys in that bracket that were just as good. And I know that's a little anti-USA, but I don't want you to think of it like that. What I'm saying is physically, all of those guys are good. They're all good, all of them. Every one of them's fast. They're all strong. They all train hard. They all are masters at their craft. So what separates that guy or any other champion you could think of? It's this. It can't just be physical. Like, I mean, for all you skinny guys, you ever wrestle somebody who was real cocky and then you smoke them? Yeah. Or how about this? You big, strong guys, you ever wrestle somebody who was skinny and then they shocked you? I never forget, Brad Clement shocked the heck out of me. He looked like a stick figure, and he beat me in overtime. I tried to take him out the next week, but the point is he beat me, and I never thought some toothpick would beat me. So, and he's on my coaching staff now. Isn't that funny? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use our 5 senses to create powerful triggers that are gonna help you guys get your mindset together and you can use in the future. Let's see if this works. Come on. There you go. We already talked about that. We all know the 5 senses. We learned that in kindergarten. So the first one is sight. And Brandon Slay is going to...
Brandon Slay, Olympic champ. What is your mental edge when you compete? My mental edge when I wrestled in competition, but also now live, is visualizing who I want to be, visualizing how I want to succeed, because I'm a big believer. If you can see it in your brain and you can visualize yourself succeeding in that particular manner, then I believe you can do it. And in connection to that, when I have doubts and fears, I really try to take those doubts and fears, kind of crush those in my brain, see those disappearing away, and then I replace those immediately with something positive. Again, visualizing how I want to succeed and who I want to be. In the past as an athlete, and now as a person, as a coach, as a father, as a husband. That's my mental edge.
Awesome, thank you.
So Brandon Slay uses more visualization. So I'm going to give you why sight matters, right? what we see every single day, it really does influence how we interact with our environment. And this is super important. I think that's why, like, sometimes you see people even get psyched out in matches. Like, somebody's like, oh my God, that's Jordan Rainey. Oh, I got Jordan Rainey next, right? And then they get psyched out, and then the match could have been way closer or maybe even won. Because I can tell you right now, the kid from Azerbaijan could care less about Jordan Rainey, Bo Bassett, anybody. They don't care. They just want to step on that line and get it in. And I suggest as competitors, we need to, I think the beauty of this thing and the ill of it is that first statement. The brain processes images 60,000 times faster than if I put a sign up, right, and made you read it. So let me give you a application. I'm gonna be a little silly with this one. If a lion was in that courtyard and this glass didn't exist, and he started running at you, right, and I'm behind the lion, what are you gonna respond faster to? Me holding up a sign going, a lion just is coming towards you, or that thing coming at you like, you look like food? Which one you gonna respond faster to? Reading the sign or this big 800-pound monster coming to eat you? Which one? I 100% agree. Get out that door fast. Hopefully the lion can't open the door. He probably can. So run fast. Don't push coach down, okay? Don't push coach down. And this is why what we see is so important. The mental images that we create, and here's the crazy part about the brain, whether it's real or visualized, like he said, the brain doesn't distinguish. Like, your brain is gonna respond to your mental imagery and what you see exactly the same. So they did an experiment a long time ago about, like, with these basketball players, and they had like 3 focus groups. And the one focus group, all they did was practice free throws for, like, I don't know, however long they practiced. And then they had another focus group, all they did was sit down and visualize making free throws. And then after they got all the data, right, what they did was the next day they had them shoot free throws again. And the focus group that did not shoot free throws but visualize did just as well as the group that actually practiced, and in some cases did better. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it had 100% efficacy, because maybe the person, like, started thinking about their girlfriend or what they were eating for dinner in some spots there. But that the big part is kind of what Brandon Slay said. You need to see yourself winning. You need to visualize. Like, I used to have a routine in my head. Like I knew I was coming with a sweep single right off the whistle every single time. And if the guy squared up, I'd blow him over. Like, I'd sweep, he circles, he squares, I blow him over. Like, and I used to, like, visualize that in my head. And it's so funny. I love to, like, go through my parents' library and look at those videos, because I'm sure I hit it a whole bunch. And, but I would think about it. I would drill it too, obviously. But I thought about it a lot. And I didn't realize what I was doing, but I was wiring my brain for success. And that's where we're going to. Sorry, I see why it keeps doing that. Okay, so the next one we're going to hit, this is a quick one. Okay, I promise this video won't be long.
Let's see. So I like to listen to music before my matches. Kind of like so.
All right, so what did he say he liked to listen to? Kind of like how I like to listen to Rocky, right? Lil Kendrick, right? Lil Pharrell, right? Here's the crazy part when we talk about words and music, how it affects you. So everybody stand up. Stand up, come on. We're going to do this real quick. I'm going to say the same thing twice, and y'all got to repeat after me, okay? All right, ready? I am unstoppable. I'm a beast. I thrive under pressure. I love wrestling. Okay, very monotone, very even, right? I'm unstoppable.
I'm unstoppable.
Come on, turn up. Try it again. I'm unstoppable. I'm a beast. I'm a beast. I love wrestling. I love this. So now, do you see the difference in the energy? It's kind of like when I feel you. I love it. Y'all can relax now. Y'all can relax now. But you see the energy difference? This is important. Remember earlier in the week, we did the exercise where y'all did rock, paper, scissors. Like I do that with my kids at school, right? And how did it work? If you lost, what did you have to do? If he beat you, what did you have to do? You had to cheer for him. If he beat you, what did y'all both have to do? And then it turned up more and more and more. How you speak and what you listen to. So if I'm a guy who needed to calm down for a match, I probably wouldn't be playing some turn up. I'd probably be, maybe a little Mozart or something like that, whatever made me chill, right? But if I'm a guy who need to turn up, then obviously I'm going to respond and put my Rocky on, right? And then let's talk about words and how we speak. So I'm going to tell y'all something. This is one of the most, if you don't get anything else out of this sound portion, remember this part. Never, ever speak negatively about yourself to yourself. Never. I'm going to say it again. Never, ever speak negatively about yourself, about your performance, ever. You want to know why? I already told you the reason why. But why do you think that is? Just like visualization. If you think it, your brain doesn't know the difference. Not even in jest. Like, not even plan. Like, you should never speak negatively about yourself. And this is so important because your brain is neuroplastic. So if I keep saying, man, my single leg suck. Man, my single leg suck. I don't know why I ain't scoring. Man, my single leg suck. What do you think? How do you think that's going to affect my performance? I'm dang sure not going to shoot that single leg, even if it's right there. Coach like, shoot the single. You like, heck no, my single leg suck. Right? Even though you've practiced it 1,000,000 times. See? And this is so important because at the end of the day, how you feel about yourself and how you think about yourself, more importantly, how you talk to yourself is going to affect your performance much more than you can possibly imagine. And it doesn't come out when it's against the like I said, at the Rootstown Open. When it comes out is in the U.S. Open in the semi, and you want to be in the finals and you're wrestling a kid that you beat, but now you're locked up because you done told yourself your parterre defense sucks. Your single leg sucks. You never want to speak negatively about yourself. If you have an issue with something in your wrestling, especially if it's technical, that's what coaches do. Isn't this what we do? This is our whole goal. Our whole goal is to set you up for success. Period, point blank. I promise you the money ain't worth it. The headaches and the stress that you get from crazy adults ain't worth it. Literally, the coaches that are in this room do the things that they do because they care that much. And there's no other reason. And at least I know I don't do it for any other reason. And I've taken quite a few classes with these guys. And I assure you that we kind of all on the same page. So give you a little bonus. I want you to you got to do it when you get home. Create a pregame playlist. Now, for some people, it might be music. For some people, it might be positive affirmations, but whatever it is, make sure it's feeding into who you are and what you like to hear. So if you like to get people to talk positively to you, then do so. If you like people to pump you up, I'm unstoppable. If that's what you need, that's what you need. Everybody's different. And as your career progresses, it'll probably change a little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. There you go. All right. We wrestlers, right? So now I'm going to make you stand up again. Come on. Stand up. I know. We ran the incline, coach. All right. Close your eyes. Don't cheat. Close your eyes. Come on. Mine ain't going to be closed. Don't worry. I'll be watching out for the lion. Close your eyes. I want you to recall one of those moments in your career where you were unstoppable. Whether it was a dual meet, close your eyes. Don't cheat. I want you to, this is your visualization. I want you to remember that moment. Close your eyes. Yeah, you knew I was talking to you. All right. I want you to recall that moment. Recall the gym. If you can, recall the opponent. Recall how you scored. Recall how you teched them. However the match went. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you an anchor. Okay? You're going to have to help me with this. Keep your eyes closed, Aiden. you're going to have to help me with this. Some people pull up their socks. Some people beat their chest. You know, some people like smack their hands. I know that's a big one with me. You know, whatever you do, clench your fists. Whatever you do, I want you to do that anchor right now. Do something physical. Keep your eyes closed. Do something physical and attach it to that memory. Where you was turned up, where everything went your way, and this was a good kid you beat. You ain't just beat a bum. You beat somebody good, right? Everybody got it in there? Everybody got it? Everybody got your anchor? Okay. All right, do it again. Show me your anchor. Do it. Do it. Physical. Something physical. Pull your socks up. Something physical. Fix your pants. I got a buddy, he always rub his nose. It's the weirdest thing, but I guess if you want to put boogers on people, do it. All right. I want you to relax again. I want you to relax again. So y'all can relax. You can open your eyes now. The lion didn't come. All right. So that's what we call a sensory anchor. Okay. So now, kind of like how Burrow said a couple slides ago, whenever he's not talking about when he's kicking the guy's butt. He's talking about when he gave up a score. He goes out of bounds. He takes his time. He fixes socks. That's a sensory anchor. I'm 100% sure some type of psychologist, a mental health, well, I guess they could be in mental health, but some kind of sports psychologist helped him find that anchor. I'm 100% sure of it. That anchor, like he said, is a reset. So, and if you keep making a connection between a moment where you were successful and that sensory anchor, and you like practice it, just like you practice your shots. When you keep doing that, what's going to happen, you'll be able to reset, you know, in those big matches. So remember how I said, like, this is something I've been actually doing with my own guys earlier in the year, and it works. I'm not even kidding. So I'm a kind of call my boy out a little bit. Last year at the U.S. Open, he was wrestling the Blair kid. And the kid's pretty good. I mean, he placed at national preps. I guess he's good, right? It's good. It's supposed to be a tough tournament, right? First period, he's losing 9-0. It looked like he got a takedown at the end, so I threw the brick, right? And then I go over to the corner, and the ref, like, picks up the brick. And I tell my coach, I was like, if we don't win this challenge, he loses by tech. So I'm going to go get that brick, you know, because obviously you know the match is over, right? So I was like, hey, my guy don't want to challenge, blah, blah, blah. Come back, get the brick. He says something to his brother. You know, next thing you know, you'd have thought it was the beginning of the match. He slapped hands, pulled his socks up, went back out there and beat the kid 12-9. Kid didn't score another point. If he had 5 more seconds, he'd have pinned him at the U.S. Open. So then, watch this. Fast forward this year, state finals. He's down 7-0 with 20 seconds or so left in the second period. He needed that escape, right? He's on bottom. He gets out, 4 seconds left, and he's already in on the guy's legs. Right before he came back in, he did the same thing. He pulled his socks up. And he wears weird socks like Garfield, SpongeBob, you know, weird socks. And then he gets in on the kid's legs within 6 seconds. Like, why didn't he do that in the first period, right? But whatever. Takes the kid down 3-4 times. Coach saw it. He was there, right? Beats the kid like, I don't know, whatever the score is, by 1-2 points. I don't remember the final score. In 2 minutes. So in 4 minutes of wrestling, he scored 1 point. He needed a mental reset. I'm sure some of you guys have all wrestled at a state tournament, and this is state finals, and we just broke an attendance record. I think it was like 60-something thousand people there packed into the stands. It's a little intimidating if you haven't done it before, right? And he doesn't realize this. Maybe he does now at this point, but like, we talked about some of that stuff. Like what, you know, his thing is his socks, right? I don't know where he got it from, but that's just what he picked over time, right? So it's a physical anchor. And he's done that so many times. Like, they asked us after the match. I was like, I just didn't see him do it so many times at this point. It's like, nobody's nervous, right? So here's my thought to you guys. Pick something. Like, whatever works for you. Because whenever you're in that moment and everybody's feeling that doubt, like, oh man, I'm down by 5, I'm down by 7, I'm down by 9, right? That anchor, and you got to practice it, but that anchor will give you the confidence you need to at least push forward. and keep getting that next score. I truly 100% believe it. Here's my favorite one. Everybody got their jelly beans? Okay, all right, don't eat it yet. Don't eat it yet. All right, so here's the weird part about taste and smell. And it's funny, me and Coach was talking about this the other day in the car, right? If somebody said that their parents are chef. Trey, was that you? Your parents are chefs, right? And what's your favorite meal? Too much. All right, how about this? Let me ask you a different question. What do you feel when you think about eating pasta? It's really good, right? If you can look at his face, he got this big cheesy smile. It's like, what does it smell like? And if you look at his face, it's all positive. Like you can't see his face in the back, but he's smiling ear to ear. These are all positive mental, emotional associations with the smell of pasta, with the taste of pasta, right? So now here's what I'm gonna do. Everybody pick up one jelly bean. Go ahead and eat it. Pick one and eat it. Just eat it. Just one. I know y'all greedy. I know y'all been cutting some weight this folk style season. All right. Now, while you chewing on a jelly bean, other than, looking at all my adorableness, I want y'all to start attaching a positive memory or emotion, similar to what you did with the anchor, right? Just think of something good. It doesn't have to be like wrestling either. It could be, I don't know if you celebrate Easter, maybe this is like a memory of like an Easter egg hunt. I don't know, whatever you want to think of. It doesn't have to be wrestling, it can be. But think of something positive, something that makes you feel good, right? This is an example of how we use, can y'all smell your jelly beans yet? Can you smell the candy? Go ahead, smell it if you didn't already. Because taste and smell, in most cases, other than danger, are linked. Like Trey talking about pasta, big smile across his face. He remembering the way it smelled. I don't know, y'all do like spaghetti madness? Anybody else do that? Taco Tuesday? Taco Tuesday! Y'all heard of that? Y'all seen LeBron do that? Taco Tuesday. But like everybody like it seemed like such a simple thing, and we obviously want to do this in a positive way. We don't want to just start smashing food and swell up and be all like nice and chunky and needing to go hit the incline. But we want to do it in a positive way, right? So my thing when I was competing was peach pop. I wouldn't even drink the peach pop. It's kind of crazy. I would buy one and I would sit it in the fridge through a training cycle, and usually, once you get to a certain level, like training cycles are a little different, but say it was like an 8-week training cycle. Train hard, look at that peach pop. Every day I did. It's not even funny. I literally sit it in the fridge. I look at that boy every day. And then at the end of that training cycle, whatever the culmination was, like whether it was a trial situation or just finishing a training camp, right? So I would chug that boy. Like even the kids tell you, I still like peach pop. I just don't drink it every day because, I've kind of trained myself to, like I have to earn it. So I don't drink it all the time. So I guess that might be the downside of that association, right? I don't get to drink what I really, really like because I have to earn it. So it's kind of like a reward. I want you guys to go ahead and eat another jelly bean. Now, I want you to think of a time when you were absolutely successful in a wrestling match. Like actually successful. Just go ahead and eat one. Did you get a jelly bean? Trey, did he get jelly beans? Here, get the man some jelly beans. He could catch up to the last part, right? So now I want you to go ahead, and this isn't uncommon. Like I know our sport is very weight-based, but football has pregame meals, basketball. Who plays football in here? I know some of y'all play ball, right? So watch this. Aiden, you don't play football? Lies. You ain't play football last year? Well, raise your hand then, weirdo. All right, so before football games, what y'all do? Hey, everybody eat. Do y'all eat? Yeah? Heck yeah. Like, at least when I played football, that's what we did. We would pound some food and enjoy it, and then you go out an hour later, maybe 2 hours later, and have fun at the game, right? So it's not that I'm alone in this. Like a lot of athletes do this. It's just that wrestling, because of the way our sport works, we have to be mindful about how we use our taste and smell to create anchors. Okay, so the next time you compete, maybe you should try to find an anchor or flavor or even a smell that signal your brain it's time to perform. All right, hold on one second.
It's live an even better life, or become even more successful. We need to create a representation of how we would want our lives to feel, look, smell, taste, and even sound like. So I decided to put these last two senses together because they actually work very well with one another. Taste and smell are the two most primitive and fundamental senses of all. They activate memory and trigger emotions. So the goal of these 5-day videos is for you to make small shifts in your life and just see what happens. Surround yourself with everything that is going to lead you where you want to be. And if a taste or a smell triggers an emotion or a memory that you don't want to feel or is not congruent with what your goals are, you are now equipped with the necessary tools to not let it affect you. So I hope these ideas on how to view your senses differently were able to help you the same way that they helped me.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a quick pause. Coach, do you mind if I use you as an example?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so the other day, me and Coach Martin was kind of talking about some of this stuff, and we were actually going past the pool, and we started talking about he had a negative experience with like the smell of chlorine and the pool, and like just the smell of it. What did you say? The smell almost make you sick?
Yeah, even today, because in high school, where we would go to run, the hottest place in the high school was the pool balcony. So all of the miserable experiences of running, cutting some weight, were always associated with going to the pool. But you're never jumping in the pool, having a good time. You're in the balcony of the pool, sweating and feeling pretty miserable. So even like to this day, going into an area where I smell chlorine or whatever, my stomach kind of gets in knots. I take this immediately back to I almost feel like that miserable weight cutting feeling where my legs are tired, I'm tired, and I don't want to be there.
And the crazy part is, right, the pool's still hot, just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
The pool area is still hot. But so that's an example of a smell being so powerful. I mean, Coach is a grown man. This is like when he was in high school cutting weight. So now fast forward, that memory is so powerful that it affects him today. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the last little bit of hacking and try to make sure we use these 5 senses to do what we want them to do. All right. So as I play this video, final activity, I want you to get your pen and your note card out. Let's listen to Frankie.
Kids in our room that will drill something all week, and when it's time to execute it in a live situation, they just want to win. So how do you get it across to them? Like, hey, you might have to sacrifice a takedown or two in this wrestling ring, but you got to get better at this position.
I know, it's so hard. It's almost like this first time you do it in a match, then it's like a real move. It's not really a real move until bam, outside step, lift them up, 4-point. All right, now I can actually do it. But to get to that point, because you always want to win, right? You don't want to take a risk that's unnecessary that'll put you in a chance of losing. But at some point, you got to risk it for the biscuit.
Heard that.
You got to risk it for the biscuit. So as we start this activity, here's what I want you guys to do. I'm going to piggyback off Coach real quick. Earlier in the session, you guys all wrote down a goal, right? And the goal was SMART, right? Remember? Right? Specific, measurable, right? Everybody remember all that, right? So go ahead and write down that goal. Just at the top of the note card. Go ahead, write down that goal that you wrote earlier. He smelled something. He had to hustle out. I can't help it. I probably shouldn't have made that joke about Anthony Robles. He's a really nice guy. It was funny, at least at the time. All right, everybody wrote down that goal? Yeah? Everybody write down the goal? What you just did was physical, right? That was kinesthetic. So right now, this is probably the easiest way I can teach you to hack your brain for whatever that purpose of that goal is. This is the easiest way. Okay, so now that you've written it down, what I want you to do is read it silently. Like, so don't read it out loud, read it silently. Like, actually read it. Okay, so this is kind of mental. Everybody read their goal? All right, now, you ain't got to do it like loud and crazy, but what I want you to do is I want you to read it out loud, at least so you can hear it. I don't need to hear it, as long as you hear it. So go ahead, go, read it to yourself. All right, number 4, here's what we're going to do. So just so you know, you just heard it. So you physically wrote it down, right? You started to visualize it a little bit in your head. Not quite, but a little bit, right? And this is that neuroscience part. And then you just said it out loud, so you heard it. Now I want you to visualize the goal. I want you to take a second and I want you to actually see it. Like, close your eyes, do what you got to do, but I want you to see yourself achieving whatever that goal is. And matter of fact, if you really want to get crazy with it, visualize some of those action steps that you took this morning to get to that goal. I want you to kind of see it happening. All right. Now I want you to eat another jelly bean. Go. Keep visualizing. Keep visualizing, but I want you to eat that jelly bean. See yourself actually achieving that goal right there. Right. Now, here's the hard part, right? I don't think it's hard, but I think some people struggle with it a little bit. What you're going to do is you're going to kind of repeat this for a while. So you got to risk it for the biscuit, right? So does anybody do any mental skills training already? A little bit, a lot of it. So that's 2 out of a room of about 40 kids. So what I'm giving you is a way to literally hack your neural system right now. And I just gave you, this is very basic. It's very simple. Some of these techniques can go like really, really deep, but we don't need that because we have a specific goal and we're going to be very intentional about how we get it done. So here's the challenge. I want you to take a note card, a notebook, whatever you want. And I want you to write that goal and go through this process every single day. Do it for a month. Just a month. What's a month, right? How long did it take you to write it down? Second? Couple seconds? How long did it take you to read it? Couple seconds? How long did it take you to actually make a visual in your mind? And that's probably the hardest, especially at your age. Like if it's something you haven't done yet, it's kind of a little harder to visualize. So if I could give you like a little extra hack there, maybe if you want to win Fargo, I think a lot of you guys like keep seeing Fargo t-shirts. If that's something you want to do, win Fargo or be an All-American, maybe watch the finals of the tournament and kind of replace that guy's face at your weight with your face. So then that way you can kind of see, it'll give you at least a starting spot, right? And I want you to repeat that. It takes less than 5 minutes. I want you to repeat it every single day for a month. And then after about a month, what's happened is you've already started to rewire your brain. And then here's the big part. You remember those action steps? I kind of wrote it on here, I think. Yeah. So now this is the best part. I already kind of jumped the gun and told you to do this already. But those specific, consistent actions that you guys wrote with Coach earlier this morning, like, make sure that every day when you write that stuff down, you hit one of those action steps. This is super important because you can't just think about it. If you really, because eventually what's going to happen is you're going to kind of start believing it. And then what's going to happen with the work that you put in, it's kind of going to start to reinforce your belief, right? So like somebody said they want to start lifting 2 or 3 times a week or something like that. I remember from earlier, like you're not going to reinforce your goal by only lifting once or none that week. You got to really say like, these are my goals. I hit it in the morning. I wrote it down, whatever. And then you follow the action steps. So you understand like kind of how Coach was talking about stacking. Like you literally are rewriting your brain. That's how it works. It's not really hard, but you have to be very consistent. So I'm assuming because you're here, I'm assuming that everybody here wants to get good. And I 100% for sure, 100% know that neural hacking works. I mean, I'm going to say rewiring works. I'm 100% sure it works because I literally did it with my own kids. like literally. So I know it works. I'm super confident in it. I literally got a kid who fought every day at school to actually ask questions of engage in conversations instead of throwing punches, right? Which is crazy. It's hard to do that with middle schoolers. So I think Frank was last, and that's all I got for you. I hope you guys got something out of it, and I really do hope you stay consistent. Thanks, guys.